So yeah, today I wanna have this interview with you because I wanna help more younger people like me to share the wisdom of life with more younger people.
Okay.
And from you, like, I'm sure you have been through a lot of chapter of your lives.
Yes,
Yes,
I have.
yes,
I
yes.
have.
So may I know like your age right now?
I'm 57.
Oh wow,
I'll be 50.
nice.
I'll be 58 next month.
Oh, wow, nice. How is it like to be 57?
I mean, I think it depends upon your life. You know, I'm retired.
Yeah.
I had the same job for a long time, and my husband passed away in 2020, which changed everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm single, and so I just decided to travel. And so, you know, depending upon where you are in the world and, you know, what your mindset is,
Yes.
depends upon your life, you
Right.
know, and your health and relationships.
Right.
So it depends on all of that.
Right. Right. So I remember you told me your job before, right?
Yes.
You were working at.
Child Protective Services.
Yeah, this sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just kind of curious. What's the story? Like, how did you get into that job and been working there for how many years?
33 years.
Yes. What does that feel like?
33 years. So I am a person who's blessed to have been able to do my calling. So I grew up in a little town doing farming and ranching family, and so I didn't know anything about child abuse and neglect, and I didn't really know anything about that. But as a little girl, I would play with my baby dolls, like little girls do.
Yes.
And I would line them up, and I would say, you know, rather than playing dress up or something like that, I would line them up and I would say, you don't have to worry. My mom and dad will help you. You'll have food. You'll be taken care of.
Yeah.
And so I think it was in my just in my soul from the time I was a little girl. And then as I grew up, and went to university, I was trying to decide my major, and I'm a person who likes to help people. And so social work, I went into social work, and then decided to work for Child Protective Services and stayed for a long time.
Yeah, this you basically stayed at the same job for your whole career, right?
My whole career, yes.
Yeah, you must be very passionate.
Very, very passionate about it.
Yeah.
I think that's what people would say about me is that I was very, very passionate and fight very hard for rights for children and families. And
yeah, I'm sure it's a very meaningful job.
It's a very meaningful job, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So can you share more of the story that you find your passion, or what makes you feel the most satisfaction from your job? Like what, like anything makes you feel wow? Because I feel like for one person who stay at the same job for 35 years, there must be a reason.
Yes.
Must be, right.
Yes. There is a reason. I mean, as I continued on through the years, I advanced, and I retired as a program director, and so I got into management also. I did different things. I did adoptions. I worked with kids and families in foster care. I did work with the legal system, go into court, and all of that. So I moved around. It wasn't the same thing the whole time. I did leave in 2016 and was hired for my dream job with a private agency doing adoptions. And I was the director of adoption services there. And I was there for 1 year, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I wanted to help children who needed a home.
Yeah.
But what it turned into was international adoptions of infants.
Oh.
And it was domestic adoptions of babies.
Mm.
And so it was more about making money
Yeah.
because it's expensive
Yes.
to adopt a little baby.
Yes.
And my concern was with the bigger kids who didn't have a family, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And so it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And after 1 year, I was laid off because I didn't make enough money for the company.
Oh.
And, you know, it was really,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, with your degree in finance, it's the same thing that we were talking about is, you know, you're chasing the money, but we're dealing with a human life, you know,
Mhm.
and I wanted to help the kids who needed the help the most, but
Yeah.
I didn't make enough money, and so then I went back to Child Protective Services
Yeah.
and stayed the rest of the time.
Yeah. Why would you chose to be join the agency?
Why
As
did
a-
I?
Yeah.
Because they told me that one, I'm not gonna lie, was for the money.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
it was a good salary.
Yeah.
But it was also they told me that I could, it was the director for adoption services over the state of Texas. There was 14 offices. It was a big job. I was told that I would be able to do recruitment to find families for kids in foster care,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not what the job was.
Mm.
And so they recruited me,
Mm-hmm.
and it was my dream job, you know, because I was working with the state, and with the state there's no, you get your salary, you know, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was, but I took it because I thought it was my dream job.
Mm.
That I would be able to help even more people,
Yeah.
more kids, but
Right.
it just didn't turn out that way. So
Yeah. So you go back to the States.
I went back to
Yeah.
I went back to Child Protective Services. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I do feel like, yeah, usually the private agency, they will have a like conflict of interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly right. They did have a conflict of interest.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
Did. They did.
Yeah, but so you go back and continue until you retire, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I retired in September of 2023.
I remember you told me a story of that girl writing you a letter, a card.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you must have lots of that kind of story. Inspires you to continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm very determined,
Yeah.
and I believe that all children need a family,
Yeah.
and a lot of these children are very difficult behaviorally because they've been through trauma, they've been through abuse or neglect.
Yeah.
They've lost many, you know, if they're up for adoption, then parental rights are terminated. They've lost their family.
Right.
And a lot of people think that they're not adoptable.
Mm.
You know, they'll just grow up and not have a family.
Mm.
You know, but there's nowhere for them to go.
Mm.
And so, you know, I think that's the main thing that really kept me going, is that I tried, like the story I told you about the 9-year-old girl that was a very difficult girl. I found her a family.
Yeah.
And that was in probably, oh my gosh, 2009 or something, a long time ago.
Mm.
And that family stuck with her. They loved her, they accepted her, and it wasn't easy, you know. I mean, she wouldn't go to school, she was aggressive with them.
Yeah.
And then I met with her and her adoptive mother
Yeah.
about 1.5 years ago, and she got her master's degree in social work. Sonia, the little girl, the
Yeah.
young lady, the lady.
Yeah.
I would always refer to them as my kids. You know, I think I had like 500 kids, but yeah, she got out of her situation and she blossomed, and now she's gonna help
Yeah.
kids and families. And so I have many stories like that that's very cool, was inspirational, that kept me going.
Yeah. So you have seen so many stories, so many like this kind of story. What's the biggest lesson you learned from your job? Do you have any like if you go back to your if you can go back to your younger self, let's say maybe 30, do you do you have any advice for her, or do you have any
advice for the 30-year-old me?
Yeah, like to make her have an easier life, to maybe
I think love yourself first. Be kind to yourself. Be kind and giving to other people. Because you get so caught up in the rush of life, and paying the bills and going to work and driving here and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. I think what I would say to my 30-year-old self and I had a 3-year-old girl when I was 30, and so she took up a lot of my time and is the joy of my life even today. It's really, if you can, slow down and enjoy what you're doing. Then find joy wherever you are or whatever you're doing, whether it's in relationships or for yourself or for your kids or family. I think we're raised to do things for everybody else, especially women. Women, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this for your spouse, for your child,
Right.
I think another thing that I would say is ask for help if you need help. Like, it's okay to need help, and it's okay to commune with other people. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed to ask for help.
Yeah.
When you need it.
Right.
And offer help to those who need it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. In terms of marriage, relationship wise, do you have any advice for younger people?
I think I would say the same thing is, love yourself first. Love yourself first. Know what you want. Meet the other person halfway, but really only halfway.
Halfway?
Yeah. So you're here and your potential partner is here. Meet them halfway.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? That means you give half of yourself and your partner gives half of him or herself, and you meet in the middle. Like, don't sacrifice things that are important to you. Don't give up yourself. Don't, like, if your partner's here and you're here and you go 100%, you're giving all of yourself, but the other person needs to meet you in the middle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you're saying just still be yourself, but you have to, like, come into the same place. Maybe relationship also requires compromise, but you should not compromise that much to lose yourself, right?
Exactly, yes. Exactly, right? Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, and if if you're in a relationship and you notice red flags like too much drinking or drugs, or a good way to know how a person is with other people, like might be in a relationship, is how they treat a waiter.
Yeah.
So if you're out on a date and they're rude and they're frustrated and they're not nice, keep that in your mind for sure, they have that way of handling things, which is not good, obviously.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I heard people saying see their family, like the way they treat their family also reflects a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. How men treat their mother. Yeah. In particular.
Yeah.
Both of us have a background in sociology and psychology.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I mean, you look at, I think, you know, you meet someone and you're excited and maybe you like them and, you know, you're seeing them, you're having fun, and it's easy to lose sight of what is red flags.
Yes.
Yes. And so keep your eyes wide open.
Yeah.
And yeah, meet their family, and you know, it doesn't have to be a big deal, you know. If you get along, okay. If you don't, okay. You know, just have fun and enjoy it, because if that person is going to be your long-term partner, you know, you want someone that you can have fun with.
Yes.
You have that you enjoy doing things together, that you like similar things. And so I think for my 30-year-old self, I think it would be looking at relationships in a different kind of way. Is like, you think, oh, okay, I need to be married, I need to have kids, I need to, you know, just let things happen naturally. Like, try, you know, go after what you want. You know, if you want a relationship, or you want a date, go and have fun. Show them yourself. Like, don't be afraid to show them who you are. Because the longer you get into a relationship, you know, if you're shy at the beginning, you're like, oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't show that person this or that or about me. You know, just
be yourself.
Be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's the right person, it'll
work.
Yeah,
it'll work.
Yeah.
It'll work.
Yeah.
It'll work. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Really appreciate.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.